Welcome back, True Seeker. Monday, October 8th, 2018. It is Christopher Columbus Day as well as Indigenous People Day. This morning on my Patreon, I put out a audio file and I suggested why it might be a slaughter for the native teams playing in professional sports today. Coincidentally, the Atlanta Braves and the Cleveland Indians were facing elimination in the MLB playoffs. They were both eliminated by big margins. And in the NFL for Monday Night Football, they have the Redskins playing. Now, if you're not aware, Christopher Columbus once journaled about how easy it was to murder the Native American people, how easy it was to take the women from the men and rape them. He wrote this in journals. It was just so easy. The natives didn't have the proper weapons. They didn't have guns. They didn't have gunpowder. They were very easy to kill and conquer. Christopher Columbus was just so proud of this. And so here we are on Christopher Columbus Day, and all three of the native teams are getting wasted. A complete mocking of all the people who watch the world of rigged and professional sports. The thing I want you to think about is that Christopher Columbus was Jewish, and he was paid for by the Catholic Church. The team that is destroying the Redskins tonight in the NFL are the Saints. And of course, the term saint comes from the Catholic Church. Sainthood is something that you achieve after you die. If you were a very great person in this world, then you are remembered as a saint. And tonight in this game, I want you to see just how Catholic this ritual is of the Redskins getting destroyed and Drew Brees of the Saints setting an NFL passing record. Another one, he set one earlier this season. He set the record for the most receptions earlier this year by the numbers, or most pass completions. Tonight, the record he set is the most yardage. And I want you to see that the mark that he broke was 71,940. Remember that 71,000, that it was in the 71,000 range, because that number's huge. We're going to get to why. So, this is what we want to do. These were the stats for the QBs playing tonight before the game began. Under his belt, Drew Brees had 265 games. I pointed out why he would likely pick up his 153rd win tonight, which looks like he's well on his way to doing. And I want you to see that Alex Smith had 161 games. That means tonight is Drew Brees' 266th game and Alex Smith's 162nd. We're going to talk about why both of these numbers matter so much in light of today's riddle, but we're going to start with the 266th game of Drew Brees, which also comes 266 days after his birthday. The reason that's so interesting is because Pope Francis, the current leader of the Catholic Church, is the 266th Pope. Remember back in 2015 when he met with Obama by the numbers? They met on the 266th day of the year. Everything was a perfect numerical ritual. Again, it is the Catholic Church in history that after the Crusades had the Knights Templar bring back the Kabbalah code to their church. Kabbalah says that God created the world by merging the letter with the number, that God works by numbers. This is where these rituals and numbers, where they gain their significance and why the Catholic Church operates in this way, as well as the rest of the Cabal. The story is that this code came back to the Catholic Church after the Crusades, then spread through the elites of Europe, and then slowly across the world as Europeans colonized the world. So check this out. At the 2-minute warning, the score was 26-6, right? Kind of like 266, like the 266th Pope, like Brees' 266th game. And the whole 2-minute warning was a big blowjob for Drew Brees about what an amazing quarterback he is, just how great he is. You guys, they're talking about WWE stars. You know, in fact, the WWE looks more realistic than the NFL. The other thing they were showing at the time is that Drew Brees' record-setting pass, the 62-yard touchdown that put him over the mark, out of all the passes completed this year, that was the most open receiver in the entire NFL season. Just further emphasizing how scripted the play was. They didn't even try to play defense on it. The most open receiver of the entire NFL season of every completion thus far. They put that stat up on the screen just to mock you that much more. So anyway, 26-6. Anyway, look at this. Pope Francis, the 266th Pope. His upcoming 82nd birthday. Don't forget that Vesica Piscis has the gematria of 82. The Vesica Piscis, the important shape from sacred geometry that's the shape of the football. to his upcoming birthday is 71 days. 71 days to his birthday. The word Catholic equals 71. Drew Brees just set the record at 71,000 and some yards. See how this is? Perfectly planned scripts. Puppets across the world, from the Pope to the President to these people out on the football field. They're all chess pieces on the Masonic chessboard. But look, we're not done yet. We are not done yet. For the record, from Peyton Manning's birthday to this accomplishment was a span of 199 days, which is the 46th prime, and the word Catholic also has gematria 46. Like how there's 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. It is this scripted. Peyton Manning born on the 83rd day of the year of football, 83. I could go on. Don't forget who told you that Peyton Manning was going to beat the Carolina Panthers and the Bronco months before it happened and right off into the sunset. Even predicted what the halftime show would be, who'd be the MVP, a million other things, all in October. Don't forget who's called about a million other things in sports since then, So anyway, it gets better. This is the Washington Redskins' 87th season. Their 87th season. Isn't it nice that manifest destiny equals 87? The seeds that were planted by Christopher Columbus, how it was just so right to wipe out these native primitive savages with their lousy weapons and their easily rapeable women. All journaled. Christopher Columbus wrote these things. Let's come back up here in our mind. Alex Smith, this is his 162nd game. We're going to get into this piece now. This is just the undeniable side of this code of letters and numbers. This is where it gets undeniable. So, it's Alex Smith's 162nd game. He's playing for the Redskins. What team did he come from? Was it the Kansas City Chiefs? It sure was. He got traded from the Chiefs to the Redskins, okay? Now look, it's his 162nd game. Let's not forget that Alex Smith used to play for the Utah Utes, and until about 1970, the Utah Utes were known as the Utah Redskins. So his old college team was even called the Redskins. That's why they got the native feathers on off their U, the Utah team. But in gematria, if you use the alphabetic order, Major League Baseball sums to 162. Major League Baseball, 162. If you flip the alphabetic order around, baseball sums to 162. So in case you're new here, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5, all the way up to Z, the 26 letters, 26. Major League Baseball is 162, right? If you flip it around, meaning you make Z 1 and you count back to A is 26, baseball is 162. Can't tell you how many people's minds I blew in Seattle just teaching this knowledge on the street. They just loved it. There's so much more to the coding behind the word baseball. But we're going to start right there. Major League Baseball has a 162-game season. It's Alex Smith's 162nd game. There's a clear riddle tonight between baseball and the NFL. The Indians get wasted. The Braves get wasted. I pointed out this morning that the Red Sox are probably going to do well against the Yankees. They sure are. I'll tell you how I knew that in just a moment. But just think about it. If you dare call this a coincidence, you are a fool. You don't even need to see gematria. Just the fact that all the native teams are playing in the world of sports, all but the Chiefs pretty much, and they're getting wasted on Christopher Columbus Day. If you know your history, I mean, it's just so transparent. It's so in your face. It's mocking you so hard. For all of you who do not know who Howard Zinn is, I want you to look up Howard Zinn. He's a historian who died not that long ago. He wrote a book, A People's History of the United States of America. In that book, Howard Zinn has the journal entries from Christopher Columbus about how easy it is to wipe out the natives. And, in the rig sports, when it's all scripted, it's just as easy to wipe out the natives. Indians wasted. Braves beat pretty bad. And right now, I'm looking up at the screen, it's 33-13. 33, you got to love it on Monday Night Football where everything's 33. But it's 33-13, and the Redskins, or not the Redskins, the Chiefs, or not the Chiefs, the Saints. The Saints are knocking at the doorstep. Looks like they just returned an interception down near the goal line. Yeah. It's getting ugly out there. That means there's 46 combined points right now. Referee throwing a flag. What else do zebras do? So anyway, here's what I knew about the Red Sox game this morning I did a little decode for the people on Patreon, and I pointed out there was really something special about the Red Sox starter in light of today's games being on October 8th. I was looking for this pattern within all the starters today. I looked at all 6, and only one had it, and it was the Red Sox pitcher, and I said, well, that makes sense. The Red Sox regular season record this year, they set a record. The Red Sox got 108 wins. Very big number in baseball. Another number I've taught about for years. It was how I guaranteed the Cubs would win the World Series in 2016, the number 108. So they're going to break the 108-year curse because there's 108 double stitches on a baseball. Major League equals 108. Big number. Major League 108. Geometry equals 108. It's why they sew 108 game balls for the Super Bowl. The most important shape in sacred geometry is the shape of the football, which is known as the vesica piscis, which has gematria of 53, which is why there's a 53-man roster, a 53-yard wide field. Number 7 for the Saints just ran the ball in the end zone. It's getting even uglier out there. Anyway, Major League 108, right? Baseball with the alphabetic order, 54. Baseball with the alphabetic order and rules of numerology, 18. That's why Roger Maris hit 61 home runs in the year 61. 61 is the 18th prime number. 18 half innings in baseball. Barry Bonds, the name Bonds equals 54 and 18. He just had his jersey retired with the Giants 18 days after his 54th birthday. Again, baseball with the reverse alphabetic order, 162, like how many games there are in a season. And baseball with the reverse alphabetic order and rules of numerology, 54, like how many outs are in a game. The only pitcher, I was looking for a pitcher with a 54-108 connection. The only one who had it was the starter for the Red Sox today, Nathan Eovaldi, on October 8th, 10/8, like 108, 54. These are the riddles you look for that foretell what will happen in the baseball games, in the world of rigged sports. You remember the year that the Cubs won after the 108-year drought? What team did they beat? They beat Cleveland from the 216 area code. Think about how there's 108 double stitches. What's 108 times 2? 216, like the Cleveland area code? The riddles are this clever, people. And they are this transparent when you know this code. So, for the people out there that saying this is a joke, I just saw a guy who supposedly teaches gematria on YouTube say that decoding sports is a joke and it's all nonsense, and he said it's a pile of BS. And then he also made the statement that he's a Cubs fan. It's weird. I mean, he should have seen my work that year being a Cubs fan, because I revealed pretty much everything about the scripted World Series before the season even began. And 3 years in a row, I called the World Series before the season even began, including that Cubs series. And back then, I only knew 2 ciphers. I just knew the alphabetic order and the rules of numerology, and that's all we need to know to expose what happened with the Cubs. The Cubs had not been in the World Series since 1945, and I want you to see this. Wrigley equals 45, you see that? Major League equals 45. Cubs hadn't been in the World Series since 45 until they broke the curse after 108 years. Now, what's up with Major League equaling 45? 45 is the 9th triangular number. When you add 1 through 9 together, it equals 45. Baseball is a game of 9 innings. And what's the numerology of 108 and 45? 1 plus 0 plus 8 is 9. 45 is 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 and 9. Baseball's all about 9. The most impressive inning a pitcher can have is 9 straight strikes. It rarely happens. That's 3 outs. 9. Completion. So anyway, Cubs hadn't been in the World Series since 45. Wrigley 45, Major League 45, Cubs 45, Illinois 45. And they love that number in that city. The Bears 45. It's like how I said the other day. The Cubs were going to lose. I predicted both of the Cubs games. I said why they were going to get punked at Wrigley by the Brewers and the Rockies, and why that was a good thing for the Bears who won. Because oftentimes there's the trade-off in these sports. And remember that game with the Rockies went to the 13th inning, another 45? As soon as it went to extra innings, I knew it was going to end on the 13th. It was just too predictable, because sports are when you know this code. And for any gematria channels out there saying that you can't use this to decode sports and news, well, those people are just deniers of the truth. How many years in a row have I shown how news and sports are synced together, and history and repetitive history, and proven my points over 1,000,000 times? Well, not 1,000,000 times, but well over 1,000. Well over 1,000 times. So, keep in mind the person who says that this can't be done, they've never done it themselves. And, that person's just a small-minded person. They think there's only one gematria cipher in the world. You know. Be careful who you listen to. A lot of people are dumb as rocks in this world. Fortunately for you, I'm not one of them. For kicks, something I didn't decode, let's just do it in real time. Because if I hung up this video right now, it's the next thing I would look at. Let's just do it. His record pass was to Traquan Smith. And I guarantee you, just before we even look, Traquan Smith's going to fit into this riddle. Because none of this stuff's arbitrary. It's also perfectly scripted. So let's look at what's up with Traquan Smith. We can even just start with his name. Traquan. So Traquan, I'm just seeing it already. Okay, 33 and 39. Are you seeing this? MNF is 33, right? Monday Night Football is 93, okay? Jay Gruden's getting put on the crucifix tonight, just like John Gruden has in the past. So anyway, we got, how do you spell his name? Traquan Smith. Let's see what it looks like all together. Traquan Smith. I see some big Scottish Rite numbers here. American football is credited to the Scottish Rite Freemason Walter Camp. Here. Notice the 165, the 57, the 159. Scottish Rite. 65, 157, 159. See that? Not hard to see who named Traquan Smith. Let's look up Traquan's birthday. Traquan Smith, born January 7th. Okay, we're going to look both ways. From his past birthday and to his... Oh, okay, hold on. January 7th, right? How's that date written in a lot of the world? 7/1, like 71, fitting in with this whole Catholic riddle. 71 days from the Pope's birthday. Okay, that's making sense. Let's see what else. Let's measure from the birthday. January 7th, 2018 to October 8th. I don't know why it keeps going to these default stats. So this is the full span of days. So it'll be 274 days and 275 days since. 39 weeks. Drew Brees is 39 years old right now. When I think 39, I think of a couple things. I think of empire, you know, Christopher Columbus, the seeds of the empire. I also think of masonry and secrecy. Let's look to his upcoming birthday. So January 7th, 2019. 91 days, 13 weeks. That's the 91's the 13th triangular number, meaning if you add 1 through 13 together, it's 91. Also 13 weeks. Big number in the NFL. NFL 13. I think the main thing there with Traquan is how he connects to Monday Night Football and the 7-1 thing, and by this being a huge Catholic ritual. So, UCF Knights. He wears that number 10. I was just talking about in my Patreon stream why the number 10 is so huge this NFL season. I'll save that for another time because it's more about this season than tonight. Before I wrap this up here, what I want to do is go out to the chat and see if anybody else just has any questions about this game or observations. Let's see here. Who wants to be the 33rd like for Monday Night Football? White Lightning says, Zach is a Zionist Jew. Isn't it so obvious? Isn't it so obvious? You know. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. They keep showing people dressed like Catholics in the stands. Of course they do. Those are their props in the stands. Sometimes I even think that they get like a lot of times when the home team's getting wasted at home, which isn't going to be the case tonight, they'll go to these fans who are just so dressed up. It's like, who really dresses up like that for the game? I mean, it looks like they got a Hollywood makeup job, and then they'll look so depressed. Sometimes I almost just wonder if that's part of the show too. Just to emphasize the feeling of the fans. Play it up a little bit more for TV. The one guy says, how do I remember so much? Because I've been teaching about this stuff for so long. That's how, because I read a lot. Every year I'm showing the same things. Remember who won Monday Night Football last year? And the year before, the last 2 years, the teams that won on Monday Night Football were the Vikings and the Bucks. And I want you to think about the Vikings and the Bucks in light of Christopher Columbus Day. You know, pirates on ships. You know, there's themes there, like how Christopher Columbus showed up here. You know what? Speaking of which, they say that Christopher Columbus landed in Haiti, right? Haiti just had that 5.9 earthquake. What is it? Christopher. The name Christopher has this gematria at 59. Christopher Columbus supposedly landed in Haiti. They just had the 5.9 quake. You know. We know about these riddles. Just makes me wonder. Oh, somebody says look up the World Series. You know what? I forgot to do my final post that I already had up on the screen right here. So check this out. Holly, who helped me edit my book that's now available, that not enough of you have purchased yet. Holly said, Zach, did you forget about the article I sent you last year after the Astros won the World Series? And then she sent it to me again today. And the reason she did that is because she saw me talking about this, how the Astros and the Dodgers ended the native seasons, the same teams that met in the 113th World Series last year, and the Astros led it off by winning 11-3, a lot like 113. And she said, don't forget this article right here. So this article was written by Sports Illustrated the day after the Astros won the World Series. And don't forget, Sports Illustrated years earlier had said why the Astros were going to win last year's World Series, and they even had George Springer on the cover of the magazine where they made the prediction who was the MVP of last year's World Series. So this article was written November 2nd, 2017. Your 2018 champs, why the Astros will repeat next season as World Series champions. And the same guy who made the pick wrote this article. And his name is Ben Reeder, okay? Ben Reeder made the prediction. He's doubling down. Look at Ben Reeder in gematria, 147 and 57. Look at Houston Astros, 147 and 75, the flip of 57. Look at World Series, 147 and 57. And notice World Series has two S's in it. Remember, when there's S in reduction gematria, you can add 9 more for each S. So World Series can be 57 plus 9, which is 75. Little too perfect, isn't it? Now, I'm not going to come out and say the Astros are going to win the World Series, but this is something we need to keep in mind. Sports Illustrated mocked the world hard last year and years in advance, making that their magazine cover and guaranteeing. Remember, Sports Illustrated came out and guaranteed it last year before the World Series began. They guaranteed, the word they used, that the Astros would win the World Series. And don't forget, yours truly did as well. I said why it was going to be Astros over Dodgers based on the manufactured and flooding in Houston and the purposefully set fires in Los Angeles. This is how the Masons who control all of this stuff roll. You know, we're deep in the game. Way past 1952 when weather warfare was admitted to. You know, we're nearly to the 100-year anniversary and people still don't know. But somebody said they found some mistakes in the book. Hey, if you find those mistakes in the book and you email me at gematriaeffectnews@gmail.com, I might send you some money your way to pay you for your time in pointing out those errors. So send me an email if you really found errors, gematriaeffectnews@gmail.com. I'll be grateful. I would like to, if there are any errors, I would like to clean them up before the day that I get a publisher to put it in print. So it's that much more perfect. And no, I'm not giving you guys the 666. I'm giving you the A-OK, which is the way I grew up. You know, long before I knew that the fingers were the 666, I knew like, A-OK, cool, man, thank you. Like most people. Somebody says, how can we combat this? Well, the way we combat it is by spreading the word, waking people up to the truth, you know. That's how you combat it. The day I have enough book sales, I'll hire you guys to travel around in a bus with me, and we'll go from stadium to stadium, game to game, and we'll educate the fans outside. We'll say, you want to learn something new about baseball today? Football? You want to learn what's so funny about Drew Brees playing in his 266th game, 266 days after his birthday and the time of the 266th Pope, and setting this big record, 71 days from the Pope's birthday? Let me tell you about it. You do that in a public place with enough people around educating, it'll attract a scene. Make a little documentary movie about it. Look at this cool movie. We traveled from city to city, we went from town to town, and we educated people about rig sports, and these were the reactions. You get somebody with some video editing skills, somebody that can add some nice, soundtrack to it, make it entertaining. Things like that could go a long ways. When the Saints go marching in. Great point, Marty. I'm sure they're playing that song there tonight. Thanks for purchasing 2 books. I appreciate it. Yankees-Dodgers World Series was a narrative that I floated this spring training. My 2 picks this spring training were Nationals-Yankees or Yankees-Dodgers. But I'm not so sure that the Yankees are going to make it. I don't know if they're going to get past the Red Sox. The guy telling me to look up Crosby's missed field goals, I did a video on that today. All ritual. Check it out. Covered it earlier in the longer live news session I did. Hickok was like me. He spent a lot of time in the principal's office. I started at 2nd grade, though, not 1st grade. Let's see. Is Jeremy White in here? I'd give Jeremy White a wrench. I haven't seen him in the chat. Oh, maybe Jeremy White's JHW3D. Is that Jeremy White? If JHW3D is Jeremy White, then I'll give him the wrench. Somebody says, you can't beat $5 the price of my book. You're right, you can't beat the price. And I don't know how long I can afford to keep it there. I feel like it's going to sell better, like all these people are telling me if I raise the price. Now let's see here. My girlfriend took all of her tests, so she doesn't have to study as much today, but she is studying right now, so I probably should wrap it up pretty soon. Oh, the chat keeps... Okay, so Jeremy, you definitely deserve a wrench, man. Let me add you to the wrench crew. Thank you. Here's another guy that deserves a wrench. He's my favorite veteran. Welcome to the crew, Blunt Man. Just real quick, since we're talking sports, I want to remind you what was very interesting about the Red Sox tying their win record in their 154th game. They got their 105th win in their 154th game. Notice Boston Red Sox is 154. If you don't know your baseball history, the baseball season used to be 154 games. That was in tribute to Abner Doubleday, the Scottish Rite Freemason, who's credited with creating American baseball. Doubleday's 154. So is Grand Slam. That's why last year, 2017, they set the Grand Slam record on the 154th day of the year, which is June 3rd, which Major League equals 63. There was also the first no-hitter of the season on that day, and it was synced up with the murder of the Florida Marlins pitcher from the year earlier. But anyway, the Red Sox got their 105th win in their 154th game. And they had done that 106 years earlier. So their next win, their record 106th, eclipsed their win record from 106 years earlier. You see the ritual? And then they finish at 108 wins, this very symbolic number in baseball. And not hard to understand why. So thank you for the compliments. Holly's probably not in here right now because Holly's a mom, so she's probably doing mom stuff. Plus it's late. She's on the East Coast. Bluntman says that, maybe it is true, but Bluntman says that he thinks the Red Sox are going to win the World Series because somebody pointed out that every year that the logo for the World Series has the pennants on it, the Red Sox win. And perhaps that's true, but I got to imagine the pennants have been on the World Series logo a lot since baseball's all about the pennants. Gematria form. All right. I'll put you in charge, man. Check pass and record in the ciphers. Okay, let's just do it in real time. Jeremy White says check pass. Okay, pass is 53, so I'm seeing it already. And was it record or rec? Oh, okay. Record's 99. And remember, Drew Brees equals 99. Drew Brees has set the last record on September 23rd, the day leaving 99 days left in the year. He got the completion record, 99th NFL season, 99 days left in the year, number 9, Drew Brees. Drew Brees, he's mini-me out there. The Patriots are going to be in the Super Bowl in the AFC. The NFC, it's going to be one of 3 teams. It's going to be the Rams, it's going to be the Redskins, or it's going to be the Saints. The records I've been seeing, what I've seen so far in this year, I'm filling the Rams-Patriots rematch, like complete full circle for Tom Brady. His first Super Bowl against the Rams, beat the Rams again, walk off into the sunset like Peyton Manning. The thing about Drew Brees, I mean, he could end up being there, but these connections right here, it could just be that this is also the end of Drew Brees' career. Maybe he doesn't get to go and win another Super Bowl, but maybe he gets to set all these win records, and that's his big accomplishment in the 99th season. So it is a really good observation by Jeremy. Again, past 53, it's going to be Super Bowl 53, record 99. And now it makes so much sense that he gets that, even more sense that Drew Brees gets that record on the day leaving 99 days left in the year. Further proves just how scripted it all is. And that's why Jeremy White's the man I've been saying for years. He could be the best at decoding sports. Now we got that other guy who calls into my radio show too. They could be the 2 best. Somebody says it's not going to be the Redskins. Never say never. They got a narrative, but they're probably less likely than the Rams and the Saints. Am I down with what, Christos? I didn't see it. Oh, I see it now. I went up. Christos says he's going to donate $25 so that, you know what, Christos? How about you just save your $25? You've already donated a lot. And since Christos was going to do that, I'll just donate 5 more books. Here's the thing for people listening in the chat right now. If you don't have the book... Oh, look, Holly's here. Guess who's a new moderator? I thought she'd be... Anyway, Christos, you just save your $25. You've already donated a lot of money, man. And I'll donate Christos' $25 contribution. And also a man named Robert donated $50 today, so 10 more people can get the book. So, here's the new contest. And you have to follow the directions. The first 15 people who can't afford the book, and if you can afford this book for $5 and you apply for this contest, you're pathetic. If you really are broke or you don't have a credit card and you can't purchase things online, this is who this is for. The first 15 people to email me at gematriaeffectnews@gmail.com, the first 15, and it's going to be the first 15. If you're the 16th person, I can't help you out. The first 15 people to email me at gematriaeffectnews@gmail.com and ask, or not ask, just say, look, I would like the free book. Put free book in caps in the title of the email, free book. Those are the 2 words I want to see, free book, all in caps. And don't cheat on your message. You have to write at least 1 sentence about why you want this book. And you better read it too. At least a sentence. Last time I had a bunch of people write free book and send like an email with one word in it. I was like, come on, that doesn't tell me. I need at least a sentence. If you give me 2 sentences, then I'll know you're making some real effort. If Christos wants to donate $25, then I'll do 20 books. Am I too loud? My girlfriend says I'm too loud. All right. We'll leave it there, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Spread the word about rig sports and Christopher Columbus Day and gematria. And wow, it looks like the broadcast just got really blurry too. So guess it's time to call it a night. Thanks, everybody. Until next time.